All right, guys. Hey, how we doing? We're back at it. Episode 2, Talking to Yourself. I'm Special K. We're right back at you. Just want to give a special shout out to all my supporters out there, friends, family, everybody that's subscribed and everybody that's liked and watched the first video. I appreciate it. And thank you very much for tuning in. We're live today, so please, if you want to join in on the conversation, there's a comment section, message section. Go ahead and join in. Once again, I appreciate everybody. A couple buddies of mine, you guys know who you are, gave me some nice constructive criticism, and I appreciate that. And we'll just keep going from here. All right, we're gonna jump right into it today, guys. We're gonna start with Donovan Mitchell. There's some news surrounding him. Of course, first, they weren't going to move him after the whole Rudy Gobert situation, trading him. They were on the rebuild around him, and obviously understand why, and I'll get into that in a second. But as of yesterday, day before yesterday now, they're taking calls. They're taking calls on Donovan Mitchell. So I'm just going to start by saying, let's start with possible scenarios if he does move around. All right. I think the biggest team out there, probably everybody's seen so far, is the Knicks are putting a package together to offer for Donovan Mitchell. We'll see where that gets us. I know they're not willing to trade RJ Barrett, so it'd probably be like a D Rose situation. Probably would have to throw in Julius Randle money-wise. But I would probably give Julius Randle another year. But if you're trying to get Donovan Mitchell, you're going to have to offer a lot. So, the Knicks are the biggest one so far that everybody's talking about. This is only day 2, day 3 into this about Donovan Mitchell. Not sure what's going to come into it. Really, I just heard noise about the Knicks, and then heard a little bit about the Heat. But, how much are the Heat willing to give up for a star caliber player like that? To me personally, I would stay quiet with the Heat. You got such great young talent over there. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Bam. Bam. Jimmy Butler's, is in his prime. And you got all these great guys around him. I would just continue to build. Obviously this has been happening more and more throughout the years, especially the last 3 years, man. Everybody's giving up all their young core for these star caliber players, and nothing is coming of it. I mean, really the only thing that's come of it so far is one can say the Anthony Davis situation. He got his ring. You gave up all those guys. Yeah, you got your ring. And it's a bubble ring. That's neither here or there. I'm not going to get really into that right now. That's for another day. But, the year after, Milwaukee won. Who were they facing? Phoenix. They just keep building around that young core, not giving up much. Who was in it this year? Once again, Boston and Golden State. Golden State just keeps adding to the core. I mean, they stuck with Clay, and a lot of teams would not do that. 2 years would not wait for him to come back. And the fact that they did that and they built around him, it's great. I know I'm getting off subject a little bit, but Clay is one of my favorite players of all time. Definitely top 5 shooting guards of all time. So I definitely have a lot of appreciation for him. As another team for Donovan Mitchell, I'm going to throw this out there. Everybody keeps talking about him, so I might as well talk about him myself. Uh, the Lakers. If you're willing to trade for Kyrie Irving, if you're willing to talk about Kevin Durant, why not throw Donovan Mitchell, a young guy, for basically the same money as these other guys who are their prime right now? I'd go with Donovan Mitchell in this scenario. Kyrie, I'm gonna stick to Donovan Mitchell, but when it comes to these other guys against Donovan Mitchell's got the youngness against all these guys, the dedication. And one thing I'm gonna bring up, I know he was a little off last year, but he still played at a high level. Um, he was a heart and soul team in the bubble in 2020 and the whole year in 2020. You know, if Mike Conley would have passed him that 3-pointer at the end of that game against the Denver Nuggets, because him and that whole series, him and Jamal Murray going at it was probably one of the best showdowns I've seen in my lifetime, anyway. And I think this last year and the year before for Donovan Mitchell would have been different for him if that pass was made, because we all know that shot would have been made by Donovan Mitchell. So definitely probably would have been the Lakers definitely would be calling Utah if things been different on that play. But to continue the fact of what I'm speaking of, what are you going to give up? I mean, I would give up. You could probably get away with giving Russell Westbrook. Might have to give one of those young guys away with him, and maybe 2 first rounds at the most. Um, oh man, if you're gonna give up all that talent, and because I do like Russell Westbrook, and if you're gonna give up those draft picks, why not go for a guy who could be a superstar on the level of Kyrie and Kevin Durant, who's younger than these guys? I mean, me personally, if I was the GM of the Lakers, I'd at least inquire about Donovan Mitchell. Um, I'm sitting here, they're sitting there, and that's for a reason. I'm gonna turn things around a little bit. What if Donovan Mitchell doesn't get moved? This is the route I would take personally. You haven't built your team around Donovan Mitchell, technically. You've been building it around Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. So I believe it's time to try to build on Donovan Mitchell. Like I said before, he's still young. If it doesn't work out, you can make something happen. But all these draft picks you got coming in from the Rudy Gobert trade, you got Walker Kessler. Yeah, you waived Pat Bev. I don't know if Malik Beasley's going to stick, but if he does stick, that'd be a okay role player. Man, if you stick with Donovan Mitchell, I think they could be back to where they were within the next 2 years, 3 at the most. Because, the West is stacked. We all know that. It's been like that for a while. But the last 2-3 years has been absolutely crazy. They weren't that far at the top. Yeah, we thought, especially in the bubble, we thought they were higher than what they were. But you got Denver, you got the Lakers, you got the Clippers, you got the Warriors, obviously. You got the Suns up there as well. I mean, Utah, the best, my book, last year, top teams in the West. And I'm not going off standings or anything. To me, personally, I probably put them at 5 or 6. Can they get back to 5 or 6 in the next 2 years, rebuilding off Donovan Mitchell? I absolutely believe so. So why not take that chance? You know, I'd probably at least entertain the fact of trading him. Just take some calls. Let him be aware of what's going on. He's probably already aware of what's going on. They've probably already given the call, hey, Donovan, we're going to take calls. We're going to see what, it's a business. We understand that. So at least take calls, see what we can get. But you also need to think hard about, can we build a team around this guy? And I think you put the right pieces around him. Who knows, all these draft picks, you might get another all-star. I mean, you can always make a trade. You got plenty of draft picks to make a trade for another all-star player. So I'm just excited to see what comes of this in the next, few weeks, might be a couple months or so. I'm sure they're in no rush. And that's the thing. Of course, all of us out here are rushing. We want everything to progress fastly. But if you watch the Warriors, the Suns, Milwaukee, teams that have been there in the last couple of years, they don't care about how we feel out here, the front office and all that. They're going to build their team, and they're going to build the team the way they want it. And these teams that are building fast, it's just not working out. And I hate to say it, because when this first started, when superstars were jumping teams, and I'm not talking about LeBron, I'm talking about like when everybody started, like trades were just happening. I think for me, Jimmy Butler getting moved to Minnesota was the kickoff for that. Because, of course, before that, there was always talks about players going here. Jimmy Butler going to Cleveland was a big trade idea for a year. And then now when he got moved to Minnesota, it was just like a domino effect. And now it's happening. KD, after they lost in 19, he took off to Brooklyn. Kyrie did the same. And it's just, we're going to keep going. But it's not working out so far. I hope it does work out for these guys. I respect these guys watching them play. But it's not working now. So will it work? So that's the whole Donovan Mitchell thing for me right now. Like I said, me personally, I would build around him. He's a good player, could be great. He's still a very young guy. So I'm excited to see what happens in the next few weeks to months with this whole Utah situation. Because they definitely got the leverage, that's for sure. Going to go ahead and take off about going to cover the Warriors for a second, reigning champs. I'm going to recap their season a little bit last year. We all knew what was coming when the season started. We all knew Clay was going to be back. Me personally, I counted down the days. And like I said, one of the best shooting guards in my book. Very much so enjoy watching him. Definitely was counting down the days to see him. So we knew what was coming. We knew what they had. We didn't know about Jordan Poole. So the year before, he was drafted 2 years before the fact. That first year didn't play real well. Missed a lot of shots. But let's be honest, the Warriors didn't play well that year at all. Anyways. And then the following year, he's in G League most of the year. And then towards the end of the season, the Warriors called him and Nico Mannion up. Love Nico Mannion, by the way. Wish he was still in the league instead of overseas, but he made that choice, and I'm happy for him. Hope he's happy over there as well. But when Jordan Poole and Nico Mannion came back, Jordan Poole was playing good at a good level. And obviously when the season started, he just took off. He had a good year. But we didn't know that was going to happen, did we? I didn't. That's for sure. They already had Andrew Wiggins there. We know what to expect from him, except we didn't. Not come playoff time. It's great to see a playoff Andrew Wiggins. And, Draymond, Kevin Looney. We didn't think James Wiseman would be out the whole year. They played well. They had a couple injuries. Steph went down for a little bit. Draymond went down for a little bit. Nothing too serious. Clay came back. He had the minute restriction, obviously. Played well. He had an okay year. Uh, Obviously, being out of the game for 2 years and rehabbing off of those two injuries, man, it takes a lot. And I know a lot of us hope that he would be back to where Clay's normally at, but that's just not what was going to happen. He's easing his way back in. He had a good year. Could have been better, but next year's right around the corner, man. He's working hard in that gym right now. A summer with no rehab. Man, the sky's the limit for that guy. They play well together when they were finally all on the court. It's just great to the way those guys, even the young guys that played. You got Gary Payton the second, Jonathan Kuminga got a little bit of playing time. Jordan Poole, obviously. Those guys they bought in to that championship way that we saw. I mean, you guys watching, I know myself watching, it reminded me a lot of Sean Livingston, Harrison Barnes, David Lee, Andrew Bogut. It's like the system the Warriors put in. Once you buy in, it's just, I mean, you could literally Photoshop Sean Livingston or Harrison Barnes, any of these other guys' face on this year's highlights, and it's like I'm watching the 2015, 16, 17, 18 Golden State Warriors, and it's just amazing to watch, especially since we haven't seen it in a couple of years. I said at the beginning of the year, I said watch out for him. I had him. I didn't have him coming out of the West. I'm a big Lakers fan, like I said before. Love seeing that future Hall of Fame team. So I had the Lakers coming out of the West, but I did have the Warriors coming second, play them in the finals, in the Western Finals. It was just great to watch, man. It was great to see them back in that way, how they move the ball, how they run the court. It was just amazing to watch. Definitely happy they're back at the way. As for right now, so far they haven't made much splash, and that's the Warrior way, man. They don't make much splash in the offseason except for Kevin Durant, but that's another story. Yeah, they just it's like they love being that underdog. Obviously, they're not the underdog, but coming into this year, Andrew Wiggins when they made that trade, it was but they love being the quiet ones because when they make all that noise at the end of the year, it's just like, wow, So far they've lost. They've lost Otto Porter Jr. He's going to Toronto. A big part of their success in playoffs. Great role player. Really shot the ball well this year, especially in the playoffs. Gary Payton II was a big piece for them. Defensively, he just fit so well with the offense as well, man. Not the best shooter, but he was knocking them shots down when they needed him to. And that's all they wanted him to do, man. He did his thing out there. Like I said, he was drafted by the Houston Rockets when he came in the league. And I was signed, undrafted free agent, I believe. I was just super excited to see what he can do once given the opportunity. I was really excited to see him excel, especially with the Warriors and get that ring. That he'll definitely be missed. But like I said before, these Warriors, and they know what they're doing, man. Yeah, I'm sure they're not happy about losing Gary Payton II, but they'll figure it out. Don't ever underestimate the Warriors. That's for sure. So he's going to Portland. I'm happy he's getting his money. He deserves it very much so. So I'm happy he's getting his money. hope things go well in Portland for him. I hope he just keeps excelling as a player. Very excited to see what comes of this. Gary Payton second, Otto Porter Jr. I think who else I lost? Bajiska, center. He's going over. He had a good okay playoff, not too bad. But they can replace him. You got Damian Lee leaving as well, and Juan Toscano Anderson. Definitely upset to see those guys leave because they were part of that rebuild mode, as you will. So very excited for those guys to see what they do on their new teams. But I was a little disappointed. But they weren't really playing much. So Juan Toscano Anderson is going to a great situation. The Lakers. I hope they have a good year. I hope he fits in well over there. Damian Lee is obviously going to one of the top teams in the West as well with Phoenix. So I'm excited to see what comes of that. So far, the only move they've made is bringing in quiet move, if I say so myself. They brought in Dante DiVincenzo from the Milwaukee Bucks, and that is a great quiet move. He can shoot the ball, good defender. And it's like I said last episode, it's just like I compare him to the St. Louis Cardinals baseball. It's like you send a player there, they fit in the system, and they become their best self. And that's what the Warriors are in basketball. So I'm excited to see what happens with Dante. I think he'll have a good year over there. I think he'll fit well. Obviously, they got to make more moves. I don't think they're done. And that brings me to my next subject. Is Kevin Durant going back to the Golden State Warriors? When Kevin Durant requested his trade, start out with, obviously I said no way. No way. Didn't even think about it. It's not going to happen. Warriors would never give up their young core. We all saw what Steph said about LeBron. You don't need Kevin Durant, so why bring him back? But I've been thinking, and obviously we've all been seeing it. Is Steph recruiting him back? That may be some noise. I'm sure he's having some conversations with him. But we really don't know until something happens. And I started thinking, you don't want to give up this young core. But then I started thinking as well, you don't have to give up everybody. This is the offer I would make. I'm just gonna spit it out. I'm giving up Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, James Wiseman, and 3 first-round picks. At the most. They could probably get away with 2 because I think Wiseman, Moody, you just got to throw them in there. But Wiseman and Kuminga's going to be – I think he'll be an all-star at some point in his career. He's already playing well. He was a rookie this year. Played well. Got a lot of time left to go. James Wiseman is coming off injury. But obviously, he was the number 2 pick in the draft. Could have been number 1. Good player. Very young. Only 2 years from the draft. So, they would get a starting center if he stays healthy. Kuminga could be that starting 4. You give up those draft picks as well. And you get Kevin Durant. And you keep Jordan Poole. You already got your core with Steph, Clay, Draymond. You still got Kevin Looney at the 5. You got to go pick up another 5, but I don't think that would be a problem. Like I said, anybody really fits well with their program if they buy into it. You keep Wiggins too. You keep Wiggins and Poole. I think they can pull it off. I would give up more draft picks if you can keep Wiggins, Looney, Clay, Draymond, Steph. you can keep building as well. I mean, everybody's going to want to go to the Warriors anyway. They're going to want to go right now. So once they have KD back, and you got Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins, you kept them both as two young guys. Man, that'd be scary. That'd be real scary. I've just been thinking about that hard the last couple of days because I feel like it's a real scenario. Will Brooklyn take that? Obviously they're asking for a lot. I think it'd be worth it. I know Brooklyn is sick of them, but I'm just jumping. Kevin Durant, another subject I said I would cover. I know what I just said about the Warriors. But I don't like what I'm seeing with this trade request. Kevin Durant, great player. Enjoy watching him, except for what he did to the Rockets in the playoffs those 2 years. But man, just couldn't miss a shot. But these guys, to me, it's like, say I'm a great employee, right? And I think I'm bigger than everybody else. That's not how life works. You can't just think you're bigger than everybody else. You see Steph acting like that? Steph doesn't act like that. But Steph is, in my opinion, is the best player in the league right now. I got him above KD on my top. KD ain't even in my top 20. Top 15. I already got Steph already moved above LeBron in my top 10. He's quiet. And to see this with KD, I understand your frustration. I'm sure there's more behind the scenes that we're not seeing. But, you don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, I'd keep him for another year. If he sits, he sits. If he's upset, he's upset. If we keep trading these guys to the teams they want to go, like they did with Anthony Davis, James Harden as well, these players are going to keep asking for trades every year. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting tired of it already. Every year, this is not 2K. And at first, yes, I was excited when people started jumping ship. Oh, yeah, man, it's like a video game. But it's not working out, and it's not exciting to see anymore. Yeah, it might be nice to see for a week or two, a little drama or whatever, but it's not worth it. And I keep KD for a year, and I would trade him and I say year just so Brooklyn can find the best package available for them, because that should be the only thing they're focused on right now with Kevin Durant. And I would hope one of the worst teams in the league give me the best package. Send him to one of the worst teams in the league. Yeah, he's going to ask for another trade. Yeah, he's not going to want to play there, but you traded him there, and it's going to send a message. So that's the direction I would go. I don't think he's going anywhere right now. I think he's going to play in Brooklyn. I think that's the best move for him. I think he has a better chance of winning, except if he does go to Golden State. Besides the Golden State situation, if he does stay put, I feel like he has a better situation because they have draft picks. You got Ben Simmons. You got Seth Curry. Claxton just signed back on. Patty Mills just signed back on. I know there's not the best culture in the locker room, but that's something you can work on for sure. I just saw something from Goran Dragic talking about how it was like selfish basketball. He didn't like playing over there. And I get it. And that's why I would trade Kyrie and get rid of Kyrie this year. Still, I would get what you can for him. I Man, honestly, I think your best situation is going to be trading to the Lakers. Not because I'm a Lakers fan, not because I don't want to see him and LeBron. Let me get let me say this right off the bat. I do not want to see him and LeBron back together. Didn't end well the first time. It's not going to end well this time. I don't care if they're buddy right now, but it is what it is. Um, I think they're going. I've seen a lot of back and forth today, a lot of counters, back and forth, back and forth. Um, I think they can pull it off, and I think they're going to get because even get look, it's either going to be Russell Westbrook or it's going to be Anthony Davis, and it's not going to be Anthony Davis because they're not going to move him, unfortunately. Uh, it's going to be Russell Westbrook plus maybe a young guy, some draft picks. Westbrook and KD could work well together again, and everybody's counting Westbrook out. I would not count him out, man. He's a great player. Could be a Hall of Fame player. That's up. That's up. That's neither here or there right now. But I think when it comes to Kyrie, I think that would probably be the best deal for Brooklyn. I know it's a headache over there. I can only imagine what they're going through, but it's a wild scenario just with everything going on. I mean, you're going to have to trade one of these guys, let's be honest. And if you're going to trade Kevin Durant, I would just wait your precious time. New Orleans waited, 6 months? They were thinking about rushing at the trade deadline. They made the smart decision and not doing that. Very good decision. And got some good players. I mean, right now they only got Brandon Ingram and then the draft picks from that, but Ingram could be all-star in this league for sure. It's been real quiet lately in the free agency. Not much going on. Basically, it's just been a lot of talk of Kevin Durant, Kyrie. I know we're all getting sick of it, but that's what's going on. Happy to see, by the way, Damian Lillard. Congratulations on your contract extension. I'm happy to see that for you. I hope you're doing it the right way, and that's what we like to see in this league. I hope you get your team. I hope you're back to that elite level in the playoffs, and I hope someday, you get your ring for sure. Definitely the way you're doing it so far, if you stick to this, you're doing it the right way. And myself as a fan, I personally appreciate that for sure. Excited to see him back after an injury too. Definitely sad to see him, even though I'll never forget, man. I'll never forget. Was that would have been, oh man, don't get me wrong on this. Playoffs of 2015 when they played the Rockets, and I was at the Rockets' height. When we had James Harden, Dwight. Dwight was still in his prime. That inbounds pass, man. That turnaround, Jay. That turnaround three, man. Lights out. So I'm excited to see. Congratulations to you again, Dame. Happy to see you back in Portland, continuing to stay there, and just happy to see you doing this the right way for sure. As we all know, the Brittany Griner trial is underway. She's pled guilty. We're waiting to see how things play out. Sorry. Just don't really know at this point. I hate to see it. I love to see the support, everything going on from the WNBA, the all WNBA All-Star game. Everybody speaking up lately. That's great. I see a lot of, if this was LeBron, and it's a good point. If this was a LeBron, a Kevin Durant, Steph, any of these, Giannis, any of these top guys in the league, like Brittany Griner is in the WNBA, she's one of the top players, has been for a long time. It's just, it's frustrating to see what's going on. It was a bad timing for sure with the height of everything going on with Russia and Ukraine. I just hope for the best. If anything, I hope she gets to do her time here. I hope she doesn't have to do any time, but time will tell. Brittany, we do support you. I hope all my viewers, I know all my subscribers, we all support you, Brittany, and we're ready for you to be home. And even if you're doing time here, when you do come home, we will still support you, and we will be here for you. And you are in our thoughts and prayers. And not a day goes by that we don't think about this whole situation. So you might be sitting there thinking nobody's thinking about you. And I've been in similar situations like that. So obviously I've had thoughts like that when you don't know what's going on the outside. But there's a lot of people standing up for you right now, Brittany. And, 2 carts of hash oil, man. It's sad to see. Ready to see this progress and ready for you to come home, Brittany, for sure. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to cut it off for today. Just wanted to talk a little bit. I really don't want to speak too much on the whole Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving situation right now because, it's up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen. I could sit here for hours and talk about the what ifs and this and that, but I rather just speak on stuff after it happens. Yes, I'll give my opinion, of course, but I'm not going to detail, I think this, that. What if they do this? What if he goes there? I'll do it a little bit, but not as much because I want to see what happens, and I'll give my take on that. Because you see all these guys on TV, like when they counted Golden State out, and all these media sports guys are getting backlash for it right now. So I'm just gonna stick with what I do and what I know, and keep going. It's the off season, very slow. After the first week of free agency, obviously it's gonna be like that. But we're gonna start getting into. I think next week I'm gonna cover my top 10 greatest of all time in my lifetime that I've seen play personally through TV or whatnot. We're going to start talking about historic teams as well. Historic teams, historic finals, just talk a little basketball, a little NBA, and go from there. I just wanted to start off a little light these first 2 episodes and just cover what's been going around the league. And then once we take off a little bit, got things covered, we'll start talking. We got a few more months until the NBA starts up again. Summer league's coming to an end soon. So we'll start taking off on historic conversations and just go from there. Guys, I really appreciate all y'all joining in, all my supporters out there. You guys know who you are, and I appreciate you more than you know. I know sometimes I can't get the words out. I wish I could, but the criticism, the support, and everything I've seen from my friends, family, co-workers, it's just amazing. I don't have words. I don't have words. I love you guys. I love all y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Be back again next week. Thank you for tuning in. Talking to yourself with Special K. Have a good one.